because I can see the wheels, but I'm not sure what it is. And it has...
It's a Cub.
Okay. And I don't know who's hanging out of the side of us taking the photographs, but you've taken some unbelievably moving, gripping photographs that you've sent me regularly. You've been very involved in the River Kids and the young people that have gotten involved in this cause, which we really appreciate, and they've had a tremendous positive effect. And then lastly, of course, with your service in the town of Sewell's Point, with having a local fertilizer ordinance there, it was one of the first communities to really have a strong ordinance in this area, and I've always supported the right of local communities to have fertilizer ordinances. I don't think the state should preempt that authority. So, Commissioner, you are recognized for 5 minutes, and we would love to hear some solutions that you see to the problem. Thank you for your good work.
Okay, great. Yes, I am Jacqui Thurlow-Lippisch, and I am not a scientist, and I am not an expert from the South Florida Water Management District or the Army Corps of Engineers. I am just a regular person, a former teacher, real estate agent, who's been a local official for the past 5 years. And so I'm going to speak to you today from the point of view of a local official. And, as a local official, we try to concentrate, as I'm sure you're aware, on home rule. We try to concentrate on the things that we can affect right here within our own borders. And so I can't help but look at you, or look at the legislature, or the governor for that matter, and say that you exist in a world like that too. For instance, in the town of Sewell's Point, we have been trying to complete a sidewalk. And there was one person who did not want us to get on their property to complete the sidewalk that was going to be good for everybody, because we were protecting the health, safety, and welfare of mostly the children in our beautiful community. And so we just last week or two, we filed an eminent domain. We decided to go for a takings, to take the land. And that's a terrible thing, to take somebody's land, but sometimes you have to make decisions for the overall good. And I think that I know there are the lands down in, south of the lake, that there's an option to purchase those lands, but if those lands aren't enough, I think that you all should have a serious conversation about taking those lands. You have the right to take those lands.
Right, and we have to pay compensation.
Oh, absolutely. And we're paying compensation to the person who we're going to put a sidewalk on their property. We had to get 2 or 3 appraisals. You get good, respectable attorneys, and it's a tough thing. It seems un-American to take someone's land, but at the same time, it's very American to protect your community. The second thing I wanted to briefly bring up was the Right to Farm Act. And I'm not sure how many people are really familiar with the Right to Farm Act, but the Right to Farm Act, it says, I'm just going to read this part, which ties the hands of local governments by not allowing them to regulate, rule, or create policy to prohibit, restrict, or regulate, or otherwise limit an activity of a bona fide farm operation where farms are utilizing best management practices. I come from a family of agriculturalists. My grandfather taught Ben Hill Griffin at the University of Florida. He was a professor of soil sciences and agriculture at the University of Florida. But these are too protective for the agriculture industry. And when local governments can't say, best management practices are voluntary. And I think if you looked at the science, of which I am not a scientist, it would show that there's more nitrogen and phosphorus flowing into the lake now than there ever was. So I think you all have to give, it's not all your problem. Give part of your problem back to the local people, back to the local representatives, and let us fight this fight. Because Mr. Negron, Senator Negron, dear Senator Negron, for putting this together, thank you so very much. I just want to say that you can't do it alone. You have to do it, you have to have us to help you. You need the River Kids to help you. You need the public to help you. This is a huge issue, but we are here to help you.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much for their presentation.